Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild and I'm sitting here in my self-isolation. I'm going crazy. So I have a lot of time because of all this, not working anymore at the moment, or officially working because it's so weird to talk about this all without using the words. I'm off work basically, so I'm sitting here and waiting that someone says you can work there. That will not happen, and I have to really wait and see what I can do over the next weeks. Will be interesting, and I kind of have the wish to all the people that I see talking about having nothing to do because everybody gets locked in their homes and we will have to stay home and all that stuff will be crazy. People might want to have something to do. We will have to address that, maybe not this week, but definitely next week we will do something about this. I have the feeling. So, but you can see that there's another hole through this mountain. This was a really, really fast dig, and it was really working out fine. There's another bridge leading over a shallower ravine than the last one. And then there is the digging machine. We will go there in a second, but first we will address this in the back here. By the way, this is kind of an updatey video because I didn't talking about having so much time and then saying I didn't have so much time today. Yeah, a weird thing again. This will hopefully change in the next few days. I started the next truck, and this time I thought about it a bit more. So you can see that I have the same amount of wheels, but I have added them differently and worked out different ways how to suspend this all and all that stuff to give it more freedom on the bottom. Made the whole thing smaller. Everything is not so cramped, or not so wide. Cramped, that's completely the wrong word. Wide as I did with this one, and the front part definitely is not as long, not as wide, all that stuff. Main thing that I changed is the hitch, the trailer hitch. Somebody said, I think it was Galadas, said that I should add more axes to this to make it more flexible. And I told him in the comments that there is all the axes on there. You can see that this trailer can go into all the directions. But this time I made it so that the hitch is a bit higher up and the whole thing in itself is a bit higher up, so that I basically get more freedom in the way the whole trailer can move. I thought about maybe adding an axis here, and then I kind of realized that would be dumb because the whole thing would just flop over then. And so I didn't do that. It has the same length trailer wise as the front one, but again, the whole machine here, this should have the same pulling power basically, but the whole front machine is a lot lighter, and this part should be a lot easier to move. I want to bring the main weight onto this onto these back wheels, so there will be a cargo container here, maybe one here, maybe one here. But I'm also thinking to just have cargo containers here and then have cargo containers here, so that the weight is hopefully a bit better distributed, and we don't get a lot of weight, or not all the weight, on this part of the machine. And it will be interesting to see how I will have to move things here. I think that this time I will have this at the maximum depth, basically, for this thing. So everything else will be kind of on that line. So I will have to see if there will be anything, like a lot of, if there will be a lot of space like I have in this thing. So in this thing there's a lot of empty space. Maybe I won't have that with this truck. This truck will be more of a way to transport goods. This will not be a mobile base. Again, I might add a drill and fill system on a swivel so that I can drill things out with it. But mainly I want to have this as a way to transport goods. So I also thought about adding tanks for hydrogen. And these should hopefully not be as heavy. So I maybe can have cargo space here, tanks, same amount of tanks, maybe 4 tanks. And then have, don't know, maybe an assembler here. I'm not sure if a refinery is needed. On the other hand, if I put a drill on there, then a refinery would be needed too. So again, I don't want to make this into a mobile base, but it will have some of the same functions as this trailer will have. And power production needs to be different, so maybe I will put the solar panels on the top of the thing and then add more batteries. So because all the machines that have a lot of added rotors, let's say it that way, Clang is really pulling on them. We will go to the mining machine, because the mining machine at the moment is emptying itself out. I have added some stone dusters because this thing is not in a good shape when it comes to moving, even with added thrusters. I have added thrusters to it. This thing is heavy as hell, and it takes ages to get out all the stone. So you can see that there's containers full with just stone that definitely needs addressing. I will make these into a group, turn them off, so if I need materials, that I can keep that and use the stone for something, useful. Not sure, but I can't even drive up the mountains here, and that's the next thing I need to do, because again, we are getting close. I might go over into that direction. Maybe on the way I will build some markers. That was a question that Alfred had, to hopefully find my way back, and then just make shortcuts through maybe this region, and then we are there. There's the pole. That doesn't take a lot longer anymore. And but before I can do that, I definitely need to empty this thing out, because at the moment it is not able to really move. Having tons and tons of stone with just wheels and just a few thrusters is not a thing that is moving along very easy. I have some materials in here now, and again I will always go in, and it should be doing that automatically, but I'm not sure. Let me see. The refinery should work. So you can see that the refinery gets stuff in and then it produces materials for us, and this should be enough to just build some markers. Otherwise, at the moment, most of the stuff gets dusted. Yeah. Okay, let us fill up the refinery with stone. And then we can go away. It's all just time that is being consumed. And I hope it's not too boring for you that I can at the moment just can give updates. I will make this truck drivable. I will not finish it here, but I will make it drivable, give it power production, give it a bit of weight so this thing doesn't bounce around while I drive. But then I will move it together with this truck to bring it closer to the next area where we will have a longer dig, and then we'll build on it there, kind of, or we'll keep on building on it there. I might try to find a way to attach these rovers to this truck, maybe with some landing gears for now and some pistons, just so that I can pick them up and then carry them with me. That yeah, it makes me not have to go back for each and every rover that I have here. I will have to dismantle this because, yeah, you can see this is a nice tunnel through here. This was relatively unproblematic, I have to say. This dig was really easy. I thought it would be crazier, but the digging machine had enough material to just go through there. I even let me show you that. I came up a bit high on the mountainside here, and then I drove the drilling. The only thing that I have is, again, I would like to have a voxel protection for bumps, kind of. Not for drilling, but for bumping into something, because I constantly have holes in the surface because, don't know, the machine does something. How to explain this? This machine, when I change something on it with the high weight in it, it starts to buckle. This whole thing jumps. And if you have the wheels down, you can see that I have the wheels down so that this thing reaches the ground. Then these dang things get in contact with the ground and damage the ground. Something that I really don't like. I would like to have something like the voxel protection we had on, or we technically still have on Fundland. Or not on Fundland, on Corvus, where we basically, where it basically protects the voxels from impacts, but not from drilling or digging. I would like to have something like that for the single player games, or not the single, these worlds here, because it's just, that would be nice. I would rather have my grid damaged a bit than the surface damaged. This doesn't matter. Again, the trucks are so big that this shouldn't matter, hopefully. But what I did is I brought the whole digging machine up to here, pulled in the drill and fill system, anchored it in the back, and then just brought the drill and fill systems that I have on there down, started digging, went down to somewhere here. You can see that there's a bit of an edge in here. Then up there, angled the drill and fill system differently, brought it in again so that the corner of the dig I had here, that was somewhere here, kind of was sitting now a bit flatter here, so that I could dig this out. And this is precise working, I say. It hopefully works for the trucks, and on the way back it should work too. I'm thinking more and more if the idea of having automatic rovers, if that's feasible, and it will not be. Not for this track. For smaller tracks on just the surface, that might be possible. Not with this. The trucks on these surfaces, on the dugout surfaces, behave very, very bad. The small ones just go ham when you move over them, and even the big ones just don't behave well. The whole things jump and don't act as they should, basically, with all this wheel suspension and the mobility in the wheels that I have. It doesn't work. Space engineers it's space engineers. We always have to say that. It's not for rovers. Sadly, it would be cooler if it would be for rovers. It's so crazy. K-Max talked about this rover in one of his comments, that it is the Hunchback rover. And again, that's the weirdest thing. This rover completely surprised me, but it has the most realistic suspension, let's say it that way. There is at the moment something on the real Mars that uses a similar suspension. So this thing works. Weirdly works. Yeah. So yeah, that's I'm getting a cold, and at the moment it's not a good time to get a cold. It's weird. The whole work thing, because I work in the school system, and I work in the school system. The states here basically close the schools. It's a weird thing. The federal government kind of advised our states to close schools and to do all that stuff. That happened, so our state closed the schools, and because I'm working in the school system, I'm in a weird state right now, because technically I am working. It's so weird. All the colleagues and all the people working with me are we are in a weird state right now, because we are at home, but we say we're here, give us something to work. But the states closed the schools, so there is nothing to work for us, but we are technically working. And now our company is basically, working out how to deal with us, basically. Because technically we would have to go into emergency. There's basically emergency classes for kids from people that work as doctors, nurses, policemen, and all that stuff. It's called infrastructure, and we could get these classes, so it could technically happen that I go off to work in the next few weeks. But the thing is, we had too many people for that, kind of. So it's a weird thing. So we are too many colleagues to really be for it to really be able to all go into these emergency classes and work there. It's a weird thing. And now our company also kind of tries to protect us. That's a great thing, by saying that people that have a high risk of getting sick, or not a high risk of getting sick, but that are, when they get sick, have a higher risk of being of all these things, you know. People over 60, for example. We have a lot of older people working too, because it's nice for people to just if they go in and stop their regular work to work basically my job. And that's a fine thing. The company will just say, okay, you're out. You will not work. We will pay you, but you will not work because you're in one of these high risk groups. The fun part is, the weird part for me could be that I might be one of the high risk people too, because I'm taking medication that that brings my immune system down in a weird way, and that I'm more susceptible for disease of the upper respiratory system. And now I will have to talk to my doctor tomorrow and will ask, do you think I'm in a high risk group? And when my doctor says, oh, you're so in a high risk group, then I will have to tell my workplace that I'm, it's so weird. It's so weird. This whole thing is so weird. Having don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to stay positive and not get caught in all this panic. But the feeling is weird. Such a weird feeling to kind of. I'm as a cave dweller myself, I'm relatively happy to just stay home and be on the internet and play my games. All the people around you are completely, what should I do? My wife considered to start playing video games with me. Think about this. That never happens. And now it happens. And that will bring us closer together. It's so weird. And again, it might be that I'm really off work then. That I really don't have to work and don't have the risk of working. So then I would have real free time, kind of. Not that I'm too happy about this, but it's so weird. And don't know, everything being closed around you and all that stuff. It's a weird time, but we will ride it out and then everything's fine, hopefully. It's I don't know. I haven't talked about toilet paper so much in the last few years, like I did in the last few days and everything. I don't know. Weird times. We are living in weird times. But I don't know. It's for, don't know. When I say at the moment, there's a lot of people out there that even here will definitely suffer from the circumstances. There's here in Germany, I know that it's hard to explain. We kind of have a lot of job safeties that are kind of out of the window when you are just beginning to work at the job. So the first 6 months are kind of the time where the company that hires you is able to test you, and if they are not happy with you, they can just fire you without consequences, repercussions. They can just say, okay, we don't need you, you stay home, you're gone. And at the moment, companies really use that. Someone in the family got fired because there's no work for him, and the company just said, okay, we don't need you, go please. And don't know, I tried to call my doc today, and my doc was just, or the practice, not the practice. How is it called in English? The office, the doctor's office was kind of, please don't come to us if it's not an emergency. Ooh, it's also weird. And I have to do some bureaucracy things. I have to give some things to one of the state's official, call there or try to call there and to ask, okay, how should we do this? And they also said, no, don't come to us if it's not an emergency. But I have to, I don't know. It's so weird. This whole situation is so weird. Good, but I didn't want to go off on a tangent about this. But it is all so weird. People, coming next week, and if I have time and don't have to really work and all that stuff, if this whole thing kind of goes in a certain way for me, then I will definitely have time, and then we will start up something so that people can, I hopefully can do something to give some people something to do. So if people are sitting home and don't know what to do, that they maybe can just join live streams or something like that. I'm thinking about just live streaming. Not sure where yet, because I also wanted to dust off my old Twitch channel, and then maybe we just spend a few days, or at some days we will spend a few hours together and just stream a bit, drink tea together, and hopefully stay healthy and all that stuff. That's a thing I might do, so that we that we all have someone to talk to and some ideas what to do over the next days and weeks. It could be interesting. We will have to see. Good people, but again, for me in Space Engineers at the moment, it is more digging and getting this thing drivable, set up some power production on this thing, and then we will I will take this with us to the next stop where we can build more on it, and then we will see how everything works out here. Good people, I say that's all for today. You out there, please stay safe, stay healthy, and wash your hands. And we will see us in the next video, I would say. See ya, guys.